Hi everyone, so I'm glad to announce to you guys that our real-time chat app tutorial starts now. So this is the first tutorial episode. So in the last video I explained to you guys how this chat application works. So right now we are going to start the tutorial right away. So before I proceed, I would love to show you guys, I would love to do a brief overview of how this chat application works. So this chat app is real-time, hope you understood. So right now, currently this chat app is open on two different browsers. On the left I have the Chrome browser, on the right I have the Mozilla Firefox browser. So I'm going to log out these two users, log out Messi, log out Ronaldo, and we'll log them back in. So I'm going to show you how everything works straight up. So you can create an account if you want to, but if you already have an account you can just simply log in. So right now I'm going to log in Messi on Chrome, and then I'll log in CR7 on Firefox browser. So currently Messi is getting logged in here. Messi is logged in. So I'm gonna log in CR7. CR7, that's Ronaldo's nickname. You guys should know Ronaldo if you're a football fan. So log in. So right now I'm logging in two different users. If we check closely, these two users they are not friends. They have no friends. You can see their friend list is empty, both of them. So right now, one of them needs to send the other a friend request. So let's say Messi is going to send Ronaldo a friend request. So we are going to find Ronaldo on this friend list. You can see we have CR7 here, which correlates to this here. So Messi will simply send CR7 a friend request by clicking on the add friend button. So once I click on this button right now, you can say request sent. You can see CR7 received a notification without the page reloading. So if I open this right now, you can see Messi is there. So this tells that Messi sent CR7 a friend request. Once CR7 confirms this, Messi and CR7 becomes friends automatically. Hope you understood. So confirm. So it has been confirmed right now. So I go back to the home page now. You can see now Messi and CR7 are now friends. If I return back here, you can see now they are both friends, and Messi got a notification. So once he opens this now, it tells him that CR7 accepted his friend request. So what you see here is the one I did before. This one is an old notification. That was before I made this video. That was testing before the video. If you check closely, this is a new notification, and it says 19 seconds ago. And now that's that Messi and CR7 are now friends. Cool, that's nice. Now they can now chat with each other. Hope you understand now. So open now, they go to their DMs, their various DMs. So right now Messi is logged in on the Chrome browser on the left, CR7 is logged in here. So Messi just say hi Ronaldo or hi CR7. You just simply click on this send. ICR7, you can see it appears on both sides. Ronaldo will just simply reply, I'm fine, thank you. I am fine, thank you. So click on send. You can see now it appears on both sides. You understand? So this is real time. You can keep on chatting on and on and on. You understand? So basically we just say nice, 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 and click on send. You can see it also appears on both sides. This is a real-time chat application built with Django. So in this episode, the tutorial starts right away. And as for the source code is not free. The source code costs $6. If you're outside of Nigeria, you're going to pay $6 for the source code. And if you are currently in Nigeria, you can easily pay 3,500 to get the source code. And you'll find a source code in this video's description, or you can also find the source code link. So you find the link to the source code in this video's description, or you can also find the link in the pinned comment. Understand? So it's going to be an exciting ride. This chat app is going to be one of the best you've seen. So without further ado, we are getting started with the tutorial right now. So right now the tutorial starts proper. You get now. Go to the home page. You can see now, this is right now, you can see it says nice. That's the last message between these two users. We open that, you can see it's nice. Open that, it's nice. You get, that's the last message, shows you that also. and it also tells you the time. You can see that was 4 minutes ago. You get, so it's an exciting application. So right now, let's start the tutorial right away. So first of all, I want you guys create your Django project. Go create a First of all, create a virtual environment, create a Django project. So I've done that already. I want to make this fast as possible. I don't want to waste your time. So I've covered the most basic part. So what I want to do, what I want you guys to do right now is for you to go create a virtual environment, then create a Django project. You understand? So once you've done that, you can create your app. My app is called ChatApp. And once you've done that already, go down to your so my right now my app is called so right now is my app is called ChatApp, and my Django project is called my chat. Hope you get. So once I put my chat now, go down to settings.py. It's your settings.py. I've already registered my app called ChatApp in the installed apps. So I want you guys to do the same thing. Create a Django project, whichever way you can do that. Just create a Django project, then you create your app. You understand, which is this. My is called Chat App. Once you've done that, then register your app here again. Once you've done that, so then go down to your chat app. So I'm going to show you. So right now I already configured our templates before recording this video. So I want to just show you guys the steps I took to configure my template and static files. So once I'm done with those two, we are going to move into authentication together. Hope you get. But before the video, I already configured templates and static files. That's what I'm showing you guys right away. So go down to your views now. Open your chat app, your app now, your views. Understand? So for me now, I already have some views function. This is the index page, detail page, because these are basic stuff in Django. So you create your view function, you render out the template. That's what I did for each of these views. No big deal there, right? And then my URL.py file is my URL. So now for each of these views, I simply created a path for each of them. For the index view, if you go down to the, so let me just click this rubbish at the bottom. That is just some jargons I typed there. So right now, for each of the view now, I simply created a path. For the home page, once you go down to this empty part, you're going to see the home page. For the detail page, once you go down to /friend, you're going to see the detail page. For the registration page, once you go down to /register. So I'm going to show you guys this step by step. So for the home page, let me start my server. So currently I'm going to say terminal, new terminal. So it's not complex at all. So just going to say Python manage.py run server. So server is going to run right now. So it's done running. So I'm going to open this, the new tab. So right now, just configure your template and static files. Once you are done, we are going to head straight to authentication. So I covered that part. So right now, let me make this big enough. So okay, we are here already. This is what we have. This is where we have. This is the index page I was showing, talking to you before previously on. So that's it now for a detail page. Once I go down to /friend, I will view these templates. So let's try that now. Hope I'm on the right. Sorry, I'm okay. Yeah, we're correct. So I'm going to close this. Okay, close. Okay, perfect now. So this is currently a static template. These are static templates you get. So once I go down, so right now, as I told you before, if I go down to this empty URL, I'll see the home page, which just happened right now. You understand? This page is static. It's not as dynamic as the one I showed you earlier. This is a static page. You understand? These are all static data. Like nothing is happening there. It's static. So now if I go down to /friend, I'm going to see the detail page /friend. So /friend, this is the detail page. These are all static stuff here. Nothing is happening there yet. So as I was saying before now, I said that just your views.py file, index, detail, register. These are just basic stuff. I'm just trying to simply render out my templates. Hope you understood. What I was trying to do here. Hope you get. And I just created. I just made sure I created a URL path for each of this view. Simple. And make sure you configure your, so my template is over here. This is my templates folder. Inside of the folder, I created a folder called ChatApp where I placed in all my template files that I will be needing for now. Hope you understood what I did. You get, so for my static, so right now for the styles, instead of my chat app, instead of my app called chat app, there's a folder called static, and this folder holds our static files, our CSS and JavaScript. Hope you understand. So that's it now. So that's it for the template rendering. So once you are done, remember we have to create a URL path, a URL file in our chat app. This file, this URL file over here, make sure you have this file registered in your Django project. So right now our Django project is called my chat. So come down here and make sure your URL from your app is registered. Hope you get. Okay, so for my base template, I also have my base template. Remember, if you check closely inside of the chat app, I have a template folder there. This template folder holds our normal HTML files, each of the pages. So I also have my base template. So this folder is outside of the chat app. It's outside of it. This folder holds our base templates, where the other templates we are going to inherit from. If you check closely now, this white container you see here is our base template. This white div, this white box, that's the base template, you understand? So if I go down, so now each of the templates we are rendering is going to inherit this white box, you understand? So they're going to inherit this white box. Hope you get. So this is how my base template looks like. So this is the base template over here, you understand? So it's just a simple box here, a simple box. My CSS comes from the base templates, and each of the icons you see here are from Font Awesome, and they are all linked in the base templates. You can see them over here. Hope you understood. So that's why I said just get the source code so you can follow along with me swiftly. Hope you understood. So get the source code. So now once you've done this, now the next thing for us to do now, want to go configure, want to implement authentication, and we are going to do that together right away. So now, okay, so I'm going to just come here. I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call this file forms.py. Forms.py. Once I've done this now, so I'm going to simply inherit the user creation form. So I'm going to say, let's import the user model first. Import user. So enter. I've imported the user model in user model. So I'm going to also import the user creation form. User creation form. What is happening? It's not suggesting it. Okay, it's fine. Let's import that manually. I'm going to say from Django.contrib.auth .form. So I'm going to say import user creation form. Once you've imported that, it can be imported now. So I'm going to just come over here and say class. I'm going to call this user form, class user form. So right now, this user creation form simply by default, it simply renders out the username and password. Username, password, and confirm password. It simply renders out three fields you get. But right now, I want to simply add the email field. That's why I am customizing the user creation form on this form.py. I'm going to say user, so we're going to inherit from user creation form right away. We're inheriting from that now. I'm going to just say class meta. So I'm going to say model should be equal to the user we inherited, that we imported rather, and I'm going to say the fields are going to be equal to a list of items. The first one is called the username, second one is called the email, the last one is called the password. Sorry, the third one is called the password 1, and the last one is called the password 2. Password 1 refers to your password, while password 2 is your confirmed password. Hope you get password 2. So once we've done this now, we're going to import this user form into our views.py. So let's go into our views now. just here, I'm going to simply just say from dot forms. I'm going to import user form. Okay, once we've done this now, next thing we're going to go down to our, what was it called again? So right now I can see that we're having an error here. It says no module named ChatApp.forms. That's true. If we check closely, I'm trying to import this forms.py from my chat app. You understand? But currently this forms.py is outside of chat app. This of this our chat app folder. Remember this chat app represents our Django app. My chat is the Django project. You understand? So right now I'm going to simply drag this and place inside of the chat app. Inside of it. So just inside. Something called now. Let's just remove. Let's be sure. Supposed to, let's drag it again inside here. Okay, it's moved now. It's now inside of the chat app. So I get this error should disappear. Okay, it's gone. So right now, once we've done that now, so I'm gonna just paste some block of code right here, and I'm explaining what everything is doing. So I'm gonna explain everything to you guys step by step. So we're gonna do some importing. I'm gonna say from Django.contrib.auth, we're gonna import authenticate. Let's clear this. So I'm going to also import login and then logout. Okay, now so right now we're trying to work on the registration aspect of this application. Users are meant to create accounts, right? So right away now, so I said, so if you check this registration function now, I pasted some code snippets here. I'm going to explain what this code is doing. So right now on the first line, on line 15, I created a variable. We have a variable called form here, and it points down to our user form. Okay, I think the best thing to do now is not to copy and paste this code. I'm going to explain everything to you guys step by step now. So now, for the form, I'm going to simply just say form should be equal to user form. So user form. So that's our form now. So I'm going to pass in form. So what is happening here? So let's just be indented form. Okay, better now. So I'm going to pass in form into the context dictionary. So I'm going to pass in form into our context dictionary. I'm going to say form. So once I've done this already now, so now I'm going to simply go down to this template called register.html. So let's go down there. Here's this template file. Show yourself. Template folder. Okay, here's it. Register.html. So now right now we are simply assigning this form to the user form we imported. So now let's come over here now. Right now we have form in the context. That means you can access this form in this template. So I'm going to open this to the right. Okay, so over here now, so you can see over here we have what we have right now. We have the static input field. Right now I want to use something dynamic, right? So let's go this right away. So I'm going to simply comment this out. Let's comment these guys. So they've been commented. So now let's do what you want to do now. So when working with forms here, remember you're working with a registration form. Make sure you put in the method. Make sure you put in this attribute called method and assign it to post. Also, because it's a post form, you need to also put in your CSRF token. So once you've done this already now, so I'm going to simply loop through our form. I'm going to say for field in form. So once I've done this now, for field in form now, so I'll simply list at our field. So this is our field now. So this is it now. So now let's see what it looks like. So if I go down to this view, so what is the path to the view? I think it's called register. So let's go down there /register. Let's see how our form looks like. Okay, our form is not looking bad. Our form is looking quite pretty. That's because I already styled this form already. This is my style page. So check here. I already styled the form. I already styled the input field. That's why the form is looking that's good. That's why the fields are looking this fine. But one thing is there again, we need to also add, what was it called? We need to add some placeholders to these fields. Hope you understand. We need to add some placeholders, and also we need to add some space in between this, what's it called, in between this input field. So we need to add some space in between them. So how do you go about that? Okay, let's do that right away. Okay, so right now let's add some space in between these input fields. So that's not difficult at all. Just put in the line break here, BR. So also done this already. So now let's see. Refresh this page now. Okay, so we have some space in between. But okay, we want to also add placeholders for these fields. Some placeholders like enter username, enter email, your password, and confirm password. So let's do that right away. So go down to your form.py again. So now we are going to simply pick each of these now. We're going to say username should be equal to, we're going to say forms dot. Okay, so right now let's add some placeholders. So I'm going to just, I'll paste this here. So now I'm going to import forms. Let me just say from Django import form. Let's just say from Django imports, from Django import forms. So we already have forms imported. That's nice. Also have that now. I can see now. So you can say, I'm going to say forms.char field. Once you put on your form.char field, so I'm going to place a widget. And that widget is called text input. You're going to say form.text input, then attributes. You're going to say placeholder, and then enter username. I'm going to do that for the other fields. The same thing. But right now, I also realize that we are not going to use, we are not using the email field. We are not touching the email field. So rather, we are going to simply be using the first name and the last name for user registration. We are going to exclude the email field. You understand? Because right now we are working with only username. We are not working with emails. So I'm going to simply replace this with first name, first underscore name. That's how it is. So I'm copying, I'm using the user model. So we don't have anything like first name there. It's first underscore name. The same thing applies for the last name. Last underscore name. You understand? So once I've done this now, so I'm going to simply duplicate this. I copied, Ctrl C, duplicate this now, paste here. I'm going to do the same thing for the first name and the last name. First underscore name. So I'm trying to add placeholders to those fields. You know the ones I showed you, they don't have placeholders. You can see. So I'm trying to add some placeholders. And if you have some, you can also add your styles to your form field this way. You can come over here and just say class. This is your form class. Then put in the name of the class. You understand? You could say form control or form instant, whatever it's called. You understand? It could be ID, it could be class. So right now this is called first name. I'm going to put here enter first name. Enter first name. The same thing for the last name. Enter last name. Change this to last name. Make sure your field's name corresponds to what you have here. Hope you understand. So the same thing, I'm going to do the same thing for my password. I'm going to put here, I'm going to call this one password 1. Password underscore 1. So it's going to be form.char field, and this is going to be called form.password inputs. Password inputs. I'm going to put here enter password. Enter password, yeah. And the same thing for your password 2. Paste this here, put this to password 2, and then you're going to say confirm password here. Confirm password. So I hope everything works well. So I speak, this is called password input. Input, not input. So everything works well. Let's run server. Server is up and running. So we need to still make migrations. You can see there's a migration one in over here. So let's see what it looks like now. Refresh this page. We're going to have like 5 fields more. We're going to have 5 fields, no longer 4. 5 fields there. Because now we have the first one is called, you can see enter username, enter first name, last name, and password now. So right now our form is just simply rendering. So we want to make sure that this form can easily create a user. What we have here, our form is just simply rendering out just an empty form. So that's what we have here so far. Go down to the views.py file. So our views. This is the views.py file now. So as we had there, okay. So here's our views now. So for our form is just simply, so this is just an empty form. So we want to work on we want to handle the post request. So we're going to say if request.method, if request.method is equal to post. If there's a post request occurs whenever you click on the submit. This is our submit button right here. So let's be fast about it. So now if there's a post request, I'm going to just say form should be equal to, I'm going to say user form, and then we're going to just say requests dot post. This request dot post refers to this. So if the user clicks on this now, we're going to simply get the information in this form and then submit it. Hope you get. And once you submit it, you're going to get logged in. Hope you understood now. So this request dot post refers to the information in the form field. So now I'm going to say if the form is valid, if form dot is underscore valid, we're going to simply save the form. I'm going to say form dot save. Hope you get. So now form dot save. Okay, and once the form has been saved, so what's the next thing to do? Okay, so right now whenever we create a user, I want to also create a profile for that user. So that's where Django Signals comes in. So I'm going to create a new model. So open your model.py file. So I'm going to paste this. This is our profile model. Also pasted this here already. So I think we are going to simply, we are using the user model, not user. So right now what you have here is just simply the customized user model. But right now I'm going to use the default Django. I'm going to simply use the Django default user model instead. I'm going to simply just say import user. Yeah, so import that. So you're going to be using the Django default model, which is just a simple user model there. Once I've done this now, you've done this now, just simply make migrations. So we're going to make migrations. Control C. Make migrations, and then we migrate. So okay, let's migrate. It's going to take quite some time to migrate everything. So it's migrating all that is needed to be migrated. So it's migrating. Once it's done, so let's create a super user at once. Create super user. So we're going to just put in cleans there. The email address can be blank. Password. Okay, yes. And then run server again. So right now we have our profile model. As I said before, whenever we create a new user, I want to also create a profile for that user. Hope you get. So right now we're going to create a new file called signals.py. Signals, understand? So this file is going to so these are signals.py. So we want to make sure that whenever a user is created, a profile for that user is also created, and this very signal comes in. So in your chat app, create a new file called signals.py. Signals.py. So I'm going to simply paste this here. I'm trying to be fast. I don't want the video to be too long. So for the signal.py file, so we have this function called create profile. Create profile, understand? So this is a function called create profile. So this is what happens here. Let me just clear some things that are not needed. So now I'm going to simply, sender is simply the user model. Let me just, so I'm going to explain what is happening here. Just simply say import user. It's okay, imported already. So now what is happening here is this now. So whenever I create a new user, I want to create a profile for that user. Hope you understood now. So right now, this is the send. So this post save is referring to whenever we save, whenever we like activate the save method, all this post save means. So this sender now, the sender is simply the user. So whenever we create a new user, So the user model is the sender. Understand? So that's what is happening here. So whenever we create a new user, this function called create profile is activated. This function is called. Understand? This function is called again. So whenever we create a new user, so this function is called, and this function helps to create a profile for that user. Hope you get now. So what's happening here is this now. So what's happening here is this now. So this if created now, it's either returns true or false. So if created means that if a new instance has been created, if a new user instance was created, this if you see here is trying to say if a new instance has been created, so we are going to create a profile for that user instance. Is that what is happening here? So I'm going to open these models on the other side now. So I'm going to open it now. So you can see this profile model. It has this user field over here. So I'm simply creating a profile. I'm creating a profile for this user. Say profile.object.create. So you can see this profile has a user field, and this user field is pointing to the new user instance that we created. So you can see the username of the profile is also coming from the instance. So this instance you see here is the user that we just created. Understand? I told that if a new user was created, a profile gets created for that user. But if you simply updated a user, a profile does not get created. It's only when a new user has been created, that's when this function gets activated. Hope you get. So that is it now. So let's test and see how far everything goes. So now I'm going to open my admin here now, 127/admin. So admin now, so you need to log in. So login. So it says page not found. What's happening? So we are logged in already now. Perfect. So I need to put in my profile model. Let's go register the profile model now. So I'm going to register that right away. Okay. So right now I have to go down to my admin.py file and then register my profile model. So that has been done. So go down to this page, you can refresh. You see that we have the profile. Okay, it's here already. So now we're going to create a new user right away. I'm going to just say Mike, and then first name, I'm going to say Mike. So let me just call this Mike. Perfect, should be Mike too. Last name, I'm going to say Mike Doe, just like John Doe. Mike Doe. Password, let's give me a password. So let's register the user. Say true, and what's happening? I didn't expect this. So let's see if the profile was created for this user. Okay, no profile yet. So I guess there should be, I guess there was an error. So right, I want to see the error message that occurred while trying to create this profile. So now let's go down and activate the error part. I'm able to see the error message that pops up. So what am I doing now? So let's just see if form is valid form.save. Okay, so let's see if there's an error message on the page. Go down to your register form. I'm going to put my register form. So now register template, where are you? Open to the side. This is recording. Okay, right now we are simply rendering out the field. So what if there is an error? So how do we go about it? So right now I want to check, I want to be able to see our, so right now you can see there was an error. There was an error here. That's why we couldn't log in. So now let's see what this error could look like now. So I'm going to come over here and say if field dot errors, if field dot errors. So now if field dot errors now, please put this down. If there's an error, if field dot errors, come over here. I'll just put in my field. The field is this is my input field over here, and I'm going to pass in my error message at the bottom. I'm going to pass in the error message. Now let me just say field dot errors. Hope you get. So now if there's an error, so now over here I'm going to just me over here and come and say else. I'm going to put in the else block here, and I'll copy this now and paste here. Hope you understood now. So that's it now. So I want to see our error message right away. So let's see to the browser. I hope it works this time. So now the username again, so let's just say Mike first name Mike to last name, let's say Mike Doe, password, so register. Let's see if this was created, if the profile was created. There was no profile yet. It's still not working, so let's just continue now. So once we save our form, I want to redirect to the home page. So that's home page. I want to say return, redirect. Let's see, this is meant to work, but I don't know why it's acting. So I'm going to just say index. That's our home page. So you need to import redirect on the top. So now I'm going to say redirect. So now this has to work now. So let's just be done reloading, and we try again. Ouch, enter. Okay, let's just say Mike again. Let's say DOE. Let's say password. It has to work this time. Register. You can see now, right now, a username with that username already exists. That means it's worked the first time. You understand? But our profile was not created. What was wrong? We don't have our profile created yet. You can see it's working. Telling us that right now a user with that username already exists. So there's, oh, I know what the problem is right away. That's one issue. Everything has been working fine. I forgot to register my signals.py. Whenever you're using this signals.py file, you need to register this file. So right along, if I check my users now, this is my user, this is it over users. You can see now we have two users, Mike and Clint. You can see this is the admin. I'm going to delete this guy. Delete. I forgot to activate my signals.py file. That's why we are having no profiles. That's it now. So let's do that right away. So right now, let's go activate the signals.py file. Go down to your chat app, open this app. You see a file called apps.py, just under the app now. Just paste this here. This ready function. So you need to import our ChatApp.signals. Once you've done this already, you're not done. Copy this class name, copy it, go down to your settings.py file, over here. So in the installed apps, instead of you just putting the name of your app, you need to put in something extra. I'm going to say .apps as the apps file in your chat app, which is this over here. I'm going to then paste the name of that class. This is chat app config. Hope you get. Also doing this now, our signals has been activated. So whenever you create a new user right away, so I'm going to use a different username. I'm going to just say Jane. I'm going to say Janet. I'm going to say Jane Doe, and then the password. I'm going to give her a password there. So the same thing. If I click on register, so let's see. You can see it was redirected to the index page. And if I go over here, refresh now, we have Jane created for this user called Jane. Hope you get now. So it's working. So once you're done now, we are not done yet. So right now we've been able to create a new user. You understand? So right now I want to log in this user after creating them. So how do you go about that? So it's simple. So now let's go back to the registration page. Register page now. Register. I spelled that wrongly. Register. Enter. So the registration page now. I want to simply get the value of these two. I want to get the value of my username and my password field. So I want to get the value and then use this value to authenticate the user once they log in. I want to make sure that whenever a user signs up, they get logged in automatically without having to waste time. Okay, so right now I'm going to go back to my views.py file. So I'm going to simply move this redirect for now. We are going to put it back. Let's just comment it. So now I'll just paste this block here. Paste this now. So what I want to do now is I want to log in this user whenever they get created. So right now this username is a variable. Why this request.post square bracket username is actually trying to pick the value from this username field. The same thing for the password. It's trying to pick the value for the password field. This one over here. Hope you understand. So if you're wondering, so what's happening? So right now, if I inspect this field now, I want to inspect this field and show you something. See, it's being inspected right away. So now I need to shift this to the other side. So let me zoom in a bit. So right now that's too much. So right now I'm inspecting this field now. This is the field. This is our username field. You can see we have a name attribute there. This name attribute you see there has a value called username. This username you see here is what we have inside of this square bracket. Understand? This value you see here. Understand? This username you see, what we have inside of the square bracket. So through this approach now, we can get the value of this field. The same thing applies to the password field. I'm going to inspect the password field right here. This is the password field over here. This is the password field over here. You can see right now we have this name attribute here, and the value is password 1. Understand? Password 1, right? So coming down here now, so now we are going to have password 1 inside here instead of password 1, right? All we are going to have inside there. Hope you get now. So once we've done this already now, so now we have this attribute called this variable called user. So right now we've been able to get our user and password. So now then we create a variable called user, and then we are going to authenticate this user. And once we authenticate them, we are going to check if this user and password, if they are in the database, if they are there. We are going to check if this username is in database, and then what this function does is this: it checks to see if this username exists, and also if the password provided correlates with what we have in the database. If they both correlate, we are then going to log in this user. We log them in, and then once we log them in, we are going to simply redirect them to the home page. You understand? So that's what is happening from here to this point. Hope you get. So that's what is happening there now. So let's try again and see. So this time I'm going to simply just say Mary, and then the first name is going to be Mary also. The last I'm going to say Mary Doe. So I'm going to say this now, put in the password, let's hope it works, and then we register. So once we get down to the home page, it's the index page. That means the user has been logged in. Perfect. Now, so right now our user has been logged in. So right now everything we see here is dummy data. So we need to put in the name of the actual logged in user up here. So go down to this index page right away. Index page, where are you? Index page, yeah. So where we have John. This is John over here. So I'm going to just put in request.user.username, request.user.username. So this is the index page now. We'll come over here and refresh. Now we're going to have Mary up here. Thank you. You can see this is now quite dynamic. So once we're done now, I think everything is fine. So now next thing to do now, I want to go work on our login function. We are done with the registration function, with the register function. I'm going to copy everything here again. Copy this, guys, and paste here. This time if I paste, I'm going to check for a post request. For a post request, I'm going to just say if requests dot method. So this can only work if if request method is equal to post. I'm doing the same for the login function. So just paste this. Paste. Okay, just bring these guys back. What's happening? Same thing here. So right now for the sign up page, for the sign in page, I'm going to open the file. Let's see what the file looks like. Okay guys, so now let's work on the login function. So we're done with the sign up, so let's do the login right away. It's the same method as we've done before for the sign up process. So right away we need to just get the value of the username. We need to get the value from the username field and also the value from the password field. Understand? So this is what I'm talking about here. So let me just refresh this page. Okay, we need to get the values from these two fields. Remember, we are going to use the name attributes from these two fields. Remember, the input field, they both have this name attributes. If you check for the username field, the name attribute has a value called username, and for the password field, name attribute has a value called password. So we need to get this to you need to get the values from these two fields you get. So we're going to listen for a post request. We're going to say if request.method is equal to post. If there's a post request, remember before we can do anything, we must have clicked on the submit button. That was listening for a post request. I'm going to say if request.method is equal to posts. So we're going to get these values. Now the username and the password field. So I've done this before, but my mic was disconnected, so there was no audio. So that's why I'm doing this again. So now I've gotten the username field and also the password field. So what's up? Okay, let me just comment that. So I've gotten this now. So after you get this, the next thing to do now is to authenticate these users. You understand? So the next thing to do is it. So let's do that right away. So I'm just gonna keep getting my code from here, and I'll explain what's going on. So now this user, this authenticate you see here, this helps to authenticate the user. You understand? So what we do here is this. Now we check to see if this username exists in the database, if it exists, and also if the password that was given matches the username. So if they both match, that means this user exists and their credentials are valid. So once this has been checked, we are going to then check. We are going to write this if statements here. I'm going to say if user is not known, if user is not known, right? User is known. We are going to simply log in the user. I'm going to say login and then say request, then user. As I said before, this authenticate you see here, it helps to check if the username already exists and also if the password matches with the username. Understand? Once they match, the user will be logged in. Hope you get. And then we are going to simply redirect back to the index page. Hope you get. So that's all we've done here. That's it here. So we are going to also listen for an error message if there is an invalid credential. So a user might input in a wrong password or a wrong username, so to be able to like return an error message to the user. So you understand? So for now, we are going to simply declare a variable outside of this request.method. So we are going to say error message should be equal to none. Should be equal to none at first here. So once this is none here, so we are going to come down here, and then we are going to listen for the else block. Remember, this if block is to check if the user exists. If the user exists, we log in the user, right? Well, what if the user does not exist? We need to throw in the appropriate error message again. So I'm going to say else. We're going to say error message should be equal to invalid credentials. Again, invalid credentials. So that's what we want to do right there. And we're going to pass this error message into the context. You get. So we're going to just say msg should be equal to error message. So I think that's that for that. So everything should work fine now. So this is the login thing. This is the login form. So I'm going to simply uncomment this. So let me remove the comment from there and explain what's going on here now. So what I did here is this now. So I checked if this message exists. If it exists, we are going to simply return the error message. Remember, you get. So now let's test it and see how it goes. So I'm going to log in now, putting Mary there, Mary, and then the password, and then click on login. You see now Mary is logged in. That's perfect. So if I go back to the login page, let me go down to /login. Okay, now let's see what goes on here. Let me try someone else. Okay, let me just use Clint, and then let me put in a wrong password and click on login. Right now it says invalid credential. So this value you see here is coming from this error message I declared here. Understand? So if the user is not known, that's to say that if the user does not exist, what should happen? That's when this else block comes in. Understand? So that way we have to declare this variable called error message. We have to pass it down to the context so you can have access to it in this template called login.html. Hope you get. So that's what's happening there. You understand? So you've been able to handle the sign in and the sign up. You understand? But one thing again is this now. So if you are logged in, I don't want you to be able to access the sign in page or the registration page. No, if you are logged in, you should not be able to access the login page or the registration page. You get. So I'll simply just add this block of code this now. As I said before, I've done this before, but my mic was disconnected, so I had to re-record this section again. You get. So let me just, okay, now so this line I just pasted it now, it says now if the user is logged in, always redirect them to the index page. And this is the index page. Let me show you. Let me log in again. Let's say Mary and then log in. So let's see. So once you are logged in, you are only going to be, you can't access the login page or the registration page. You understand? Once you are logged in, those pages are restricted for you. If I try going back there now, let's see /login, you see it can't go there. The same thing apply for the registration page. You understand? So up here, once you are logged in, you can't access the registration page, and also you can't access the login page. Hope you get. So that's that. Let's try the register page. Register. You can see we can't go back there because we are currently logged in. So as for the sign out, as for the logouts function, we have that over here. So this is it here, logout request, and then once you log out, you'll be redirected back to the login page. Hope you get. This is the sign out function, and we already have the URL path for that, which is up here, which is this logout you see here. And I have to put the link in the index.html. Index, where is it? So over here now, this is where we have to append the link. This is how it looks just up here. And so once I click, this is it over. Once I click here, I'm logged. So right now I've logged out of the application, and we can then log in again. Hope you understood. So I think that's it. That's it now. I've been able to cover we've been able to cover authentication in this part of the tutorial. So in the next episode now, we are going to work on updating users' profile. So this episode we worked on authentication. So we'll see in the next episode. So if you've not gotten the source code, do well to get the source code. Purchase it. You can get the source code on Seller. You find the link in this video description, or you can also find the link on the pinned comment. You understand? So get the source code on Seller, and then you can follow along with me on this tutorial easily. Understand? So see you in the next episode. So stay blessed and bye bye.